Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of 18 Minutes with 180 Markets. Well, friends, as the saying is, you can't get a hit unless you're in the bottom's box. And we all know that. But in addition, it does help to also have done preparation work and to have momentum in your craft. And that is why we are thrilled today to be joined by Kalgoorlie Gold's Managing Director, Matt Painter, because Kalgoorlie Gold does have the preparation work for its upcoming drilling, but just as importantly, it has enormous momentum, and I don't mean just in the gold price, which we all can see, but also in this particular location. And with that long introduction, Matt, welcome.
Thanks very much, Greg. Great to see you.
Great. Hey, Matt, let's just back up a second. Circa a year ago, your region really caught on fire. What changed?
We were quite busy out there. So, look, we've been looking at this area for quite some time. It's an area that I circled on a map about 10 years ago, but we've gradually been working our way into it. It's not something that has been the major focus the entire time. But about a year ago, we undertook some drilling on a bunch of targets that we identified in-house. And we got some good hits. The initial program got us some good anomalism, which was very impressive, and we did a small follow-up, and we released those results in about February of this year. And that was our Lighthorse discovery, and that was when we hit 17 metres at 4.9 grams per tonne in a first-pass air core program. So whilst we were hoping for something that would be worthy of follow-up, I don't think anybody expected those sorts of numbers. So clearly there's something significant going on there. It certainly grabbed our attention, and it seemed to grab the attention of a few of the other explorers around the region as well. So, it's rather exciting find out there.
Right. And it also grabbed the attention of shareholders because I believe in one day, did your share price move up circa 100%?
Oh, yeah, more than. I think we're sitting around the 2 cent mark, what have you, and it hit 9.9 for a brief moment in time. We didn't maintain that, obviously, but there's quite a bit of excitement around that hit. Share prices do what share prices do, but everything that we've seen since then tells us that we're onto something significant there. Who wouldn't love to drill straight through El Dorado on the next drill hole after that? Clearly that hasn't happened, but everything that we're seeing is telling us that there's something significant going on beneath Lighthorse and in the greater region, and that's what we continue to work to define and hopefully discover something significant at depth undercover beneath Lighthorse and beneath the Pynchon area.
Right. And talking about Lighthorse and Pynchon in this area, let's focus right now. We're filming in the beginning of September 2025. Imminently, there is going to be activity. Can you just talk to us about the upcoming drill program?
Absolutely. So we're quite systematic with the way we go about things. We've discovered with air core, 2 rounds of air core, we confirmed primary gold mineralisation with a very small RC drill program. And then we stood back and had a look and went, hang on, there's more going on here. The area that we drilled in had never been drilled beforehand, about another couple of kilometres along strike to the north and partly to the south as well, had never been drilled. So we followed through with air core program there, first pass air core, which gets us a little way into the ground. And that confirmed that we've got gold anomalism along this entire length. So this upcoming program now is to further build on that and to confirm that the anomalism and the mineralisation that we see in that shallow air core drilling is actually indicative of primary gold mineralisation beneath. So the drilling's very widely spaced. It's over several kilometres of strike length. And what we intend doing is, or what we want to find from this is actually hit primary gold mineralisation, and a couple of holes would be nice. When we first did this at Lighthorse, like I said, we didn't hit El Dorado, but we hit primary gold mineralisation in every single hole that we drilled, and it's still widely spaced. I think with the Never Never discovery, they brought it down to a 20-metre line spacing to make that discovery. We're still at 80-metre line spacing for drilling at Lighthorse, so there's a lot more work to do there. But this upcoming RC program is just spreading out all along that strike extent over several kilometres of strike, testing beneath every single bit of gold anomalism and gold mineralisation that we've got at or very close to the end of all the air core drill holes that we've done. So very systematic. We just want to hit that primary gold, and then we'll craft our next step. At the moment, we've clearly got to go in and drill more intensely on Lighthorse itself. But if there's more to this deposit, or more to this prospect, I should say at the moment, than the small footprint that we've got at Lighthorse with the RC program at the moment, what is it, 160 metres strike? If this thing goes for 2, 3, 5 times that length, I want to know now. I don't want to find out a year and a half down the track. I want to know now, and then we can drill appropriately and hopefully make that discovery of a decent primary orogenic gold deposit beneath all of this.
Got it. And the details, it's circa 40 holes of 4,700 meters, so it's a good sized program.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 40 holes at Lighthorse itself, and then there's a couple of prospects, Wessex, which is right next to Hawthorn Resources Anglo-Saxon or Trouser Legs gold mine, open pit. We discovered gold anomalism and mineralisation there through air core about a year ago. And also we've got another prospect called Providence South, where it's quite unusual. There's a silica cap, which prevented the air core getting to depth, but some incredibly strong arsenic associated with the gold anomalism there. That may mean nothing. Arsenic can be an indicator for gold, not always, but can be. So we're going to throw, I think, 3 holes underneath that or something as well. So all up, we've got a 50-hole program. We're going to start up at Wessex. That'll be interesting, seeing as Hawthorn Resources seems to be moving again, or doing some work on the ground up there by the sounds of things. So for us to be, if we can define and discover primary gold mineralisation there underneath the surface mineralisation, and then do the same thing at Lighthorse as well, then it could be interesting times.
Right. And again, at Lighthorse, it sounds like the key is to say that this is a big system.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very large from what we can see so far. So, obviously, a gold deposit doesn't need a big footprint. And, it can be, we talked about Never Never a moment ago, you needed 20-metre line spacing to find that thing. It's a bigger footprint underneath, but to actually latch onto that, you had to get into a very small area. So far at Lighthorse, we're seeing something that's at least 1.6 kilometres long, and the anomalism extends another 500 metres north of that to the edge of the area that we surveyed so far, and also to the south. Now, that's not to say that in terms of primary gold mineralisation, it extends that entire length. We know that we've got primary gold mineralisation in the main centre discovery zone of Lighthorse. We know that's there. Does it extend the whole way? We don't know. So, are we dealing with a deposit? Are we dealing with a couple of prospects that may turn into deposits? Are we dealing with an entire gold field that is hidden here underneath, undercover? And that's the way we're looking at this, because, when we compare the data that we've generated from drilling with geophysics that we've undertaken, and with some of the historic data that was done by Newmont and others 20 years ago or more, we're seeing continuous or near continuous gold anomalism that would light any explorer's eyes up over more than 6 kilometres strike length, and it's open at each end. So there's clearly something significant going on. What does it mean? There's only one way to find out, and that's to drill it.
No, that's for sure. And as I mentioned earlier, this whole area has been prolific. Neurology, obviously, some people talk about neurology. It can be very, very shady, but Ramilius is nearby?
Yes. Pardon me. Yes, Ramilius is nearby. They're to the south of us. And obviously they're moving forward with their Rebecca project. It's about 1.4 million ounces down there at the moment, and they're hoping to feed in the Lake Rowe deposit into that as well. They're still working on feasibilities and what have you, but I understand that their final feasibility study should be coming through in the coming months. And, certainly their pre-feasibility study talked about establishing a new mill only what would be 20 kilometres away from Lighthorse, 20 to 25 kilometres away from Lighthorse. So it puts us in a good spot as far as that's concerned. It's only about 40 kilometres to the east of Carasue Dam. Even though historically this area was quite remote, to get out there 20 years ago took all day to drive directly east. With the road upgraded for the Tropicana Gold Mine much further out to the east, it's accessible in a couple of hours now. But what it means is that it's the last greenstone belt, if you like, heading eastwards. The old timers didn't get out there till 1915-ish. So it's one of those areas that has constantly been overlooked, and the lack of outcrop doesn't help that. But we see that as a massive opportunity, and with the geophysics that we can utilise, both some of the state data sets as well as our own, we can see where these major structures are going, and that Laverton tectonic zone, which hosts your Sunrise Dams and your Granny Smiths and what have you to the north, that comes all the way down and through and into an area that has barely been explored. And when companies did go through and concentrate and explore it systematically, as Apollo Consolidated did, who were taken out by Ramelius, they found Rebecca. And so we can't see a reason, is if you've got 5 to 10 million ounce deposits in the north, where the Laverton tectonic zone's running north-south, it's nice and wide, that's where these deposits form. We now know that the Laverton tectonic zone in the south runs north-south, is nice and wide, and we've got a 1.4 million ounce deposit in there so far. Where's the 5 to 10 million ounce deposits? Are they there? Again, there's only one way to find out. We think we've got targets that could be it, and we're just going to have to drill to find out.
Absolutely. So Matt, from a timing perspective, as I said, we're filming here in early September. So when would the initial results come out? Would they be circa end of October?
Look, yes. I'd hope to get some out earlier. We're quite conscious of the fact that there is quite a turnaround on laboratory assays at the moment.
That's what happens with gold of 3,500 US an ounce, by the way.
Everybody wants a bit, funnily enough. But what we're going to be doing is we'll be using fire assays. So they've got a much quicker turnaround. It may be a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for the individual assays to get them back from the lab, and then obviously we need to look at it and work out what it all means. But hopefully it means that we're not going to be several months turnaround, as I've heard. And we've experienced it ourselves in the past, and it's not a nice place to be, because the labs are doing what they can, but there's a lot of demand on them. So we're making every effort that we can to accelerate that turnaround time, so that we can report back to the market as soon as humanly possible. Fire assays obviously only give you gold and maybe some arsenic, and we'll be assaying some of the holes, selected holes, with a full assay suite, so we, as geologists, get an understanding for what's going on, but we're not going to let that hold up the return of assay results to the market. So we're going to be pushing it as hard and fast as we can to end of October would be fair. Wouldn't it be nice if we can get them through sooner? But let's see what we can do.
Gotcha. Hey, man, we have to keep it short, but just to recap in closing here, the region really lit up circa a year ago. Investors have taken notice. Corporates have taken notice. There is upcoming imminent drilling activity. Finally, for you, in your shoes, is this what you live for?
Oh yeah, no, this is a real buzz. No, it's really exciting. That the thrill of discovery is just a fantastic thing. Everybody that works for the company has had experience with discoveries. It's nice to be able to put that experience to the test here. And so far, of the targets that we've generated, half of them we have to go back and test again because there's something going on there. So very satisfying.
A high-grade problem.
Just got to find the big one.
Matt, thank you very much. We're really looking forward to these results, and we'll have you back on when those results do come out.
You're on. Thanks for that, Greg. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.